My beloved, listen carefully in this very moment, because what you are hearing now is not arriving by accident, and it is not something that drifted into your path by coincidence. I have watched the quiet hours of your life, the moments when no one else understood what was happening inside your heart, and I have seen the questions that formed when your body felt weak, when your strength seemed different than before, and when you wondered if something unseen was unfolding behind the scenes. Do not rush away from this moment. Remain here, even if only for a little while, because what is being revealed to you now is connected to a timing that was sealed long before this day arrived. There is a conversation taking place in the spiritual realm about you, and the reason it concerns your body is because your body is not merely flesh and bone, as the world often describes it. Your body carries purpose, alignment, and a calling that many do not yet recognize. Even now, while you listen, movement is happening beyond what your eyes can see, and the message you are receiving is meant to awaken something inside you that has been waiting for the right moment to rise. My child, the heavens have not been silent about you. While you were moving through ordinary days, wondering why certain things felt delayed or unclear, 3 angels were speaking in a quiet council about what has been happening within you. They were not speaking with worry, but with careful attention, because the body you carry has been undergoing a preparation that you could not fully understand while it was happening. There were nights when you felt unusually tired, days when your thoughts seemed heavier than usual, and moments when your energy shifted without explanation. Yet those moments were not random disturbances. They were signs that something deeper was aligning. The world often interprets these things as inconvenience or weakness, but heaven recognizes them as transition. The angels were observing the changes, measuring the timing, and waiting for the exact moment when the next part of your path could begin to unfold. My beloved, there is something important you must understand right now. What has been happening in your life has not been punishment, and it has not been abandonment. Many times you wondered if something had gone wrong, or if you had somehow missed the direction you were meant to follow. But the truth is quieter and far more powerful than those fears. You were being positioned. Certain layers of your strength had to shift so that another level of clarity could arrive. When the angels spoke about your body, they were not discussing weakness, they were recognizing preparation. The human mind often sees only the surface, but heaven sees the transformation that is happening beneath it. And because of that transformation, the timing you are entering now carries a significance you have not yet fully realized. Stay here with these words a little longer, my child, because there is something else unfolding within this message that you must not miss. The angels were not simply observing you from a distance. They were watching the alignment of moments that would eventually lead you here, to this exact point of hearing this message. It may seem simple on the surface, yet heaven understands that moments like this are not random. When truth begins to reveal itself, it often arrives quietly, almost like a whisper moving through the noise of everyday life. But the whisper carries power. The whisper carries direction. And the whisper is guiding you to remain attentive now, because what is about to unfold in your life will require you to recognize that the season of confusion is beginning to close. My beloved, there is also something that must be spoken openly here, because this message is part of a mission that reaches many hearts who are searching for hope and understanding. Dear family, before we continue, I want to share something important. Recently our channel was demonetized by YouTube, which means we no longer receive earnings from these videos. Yet every message here takes many hours of prayer, writing, recording, and editing. Our mission is to bring hope and encouragement to those who feel lost, lonely, or overwhelmed. Without support, it becomes very difficult for us to keep creating these messages and continue running this channel. If these messages have ever helped or inspired you, you can support this mission through the links in the description or the pinned comment. Buy me a coffee. Even a small contribution helps us continue creating these messages and reaching people who need them the most. Thank you for your love, support, and prayers. God bless you. And as you remain here listening, know that the message itself continues, because what you are hearing was not interrupted, but simply paused for a moment of honesty and connection. My child, return your focus now to what heaven has been revealing about you. The angels who were speaking were not surprised by the changes happening within your body. In fact, they had been anticipating them for a long time. What you felt as uncertainty was often the early stage of a realignment that needed to take place before the next chapter of your life could open. Many people walk through life without recognizing that their bodies sometimes carry signs of spiritual transition. Yet you are being invited to see differently now. The awareness you once questioned was not meaningless. The pauses you experienced were not wasted time. They were part of a deeper orchestration preparing you for something that requires a stronger foundation than before. My beloved, listen carefully, because this is where the message becomes more mysterious and more hopeful at the same time. The angels did not only speak about what has already happened. They also spoke about what is approaching you. There is a moment ahead, closer than you realize, when clarity will begin replacing the uncertainty that surrounded you for so long. When that moment arrives, you will begin to see why certain doors remained closed and why certain paths felt confusing. It was not because you were forgotten. It was because your timing had not yet reached the point where everything could align together. Heaven does not rush these alignments, because the purpose connected to your life requires precision. My child, I know that sometimes you felt alone in the process. You wondered why things seemed to move smoothly for others, while your path required patience that stretched longer than expected. But the angels spoke about this as well. They recognized the endurance you carried even when you did not fully understand what you were enduring. They saw the quiet strength that continued moving forward when the outcome was unclear. And because of that perseverance, the season ahead will not resemble the season behind you. What once felt heavy will begin to lift in ways that surprise you. My beloved, there is something sacred about this moment of listening. Even now, as these words reach you, the atmosphere around your life is shifting in subtle ways that cannot be measured by ordinary perception. Heaven often works in quiet movements before visible changes appear. The angels who spoke about you were aware that the next stage of your life would require renewed strength within your body and renewed clarity within your mind. This is why the conversation concerned both your physical and spiritual condition. They were acknowledging that the restoration unfolding within you would influence every step you take moving forward. My child, do not misunderstand what this means. Restoration does not always appear instantly. Sometimes it arrives like the sunrise, gradually replacing darkness with light until the entire horizon is transformed. The changes happening within you may feel subtle at first, but they are real. Strength will return where you once felt drained. peace will grow where uncertainty once lingered, and understanding will begin replacing questions that once seemed impossible to answer. My beloved, remain attentive to these words, because they are not merely information passing through your ears. They are reminders meant to awaken awareness within your spirit. The angels who spoke about you recognized that the time for confusion is ending and the time for recognition is approaching. Soon you will begin to notice small confirmations appearing around you, moments that feel strangely precise, almost as if invisible hands are guiding events into place. When those moments appear, remember this message and understand that the alignment you once hoped for has begun to move. My child, there is a reason you felt drawn to hear this today. Something within you recognized that this moment carried meaning beyond ordinary curiosity. That inner awareness is not something you should ignore. It is part of the connection between heaven and your path. A quiet signal reminding you that you are not navigating life alone. Even when you cannot see the full picture, the direction is still unfolding. The angels knew this long before you did, which is why their conversation was filled not with worry, but with anticipation. My beloved, the story of your life is still unfolding, and the chapter you are entering now carries possibilities that once seemed distant. What once looked like delay will reveal itself as preparation. What once looked like weakness will reveal itself as transformation. And what once looked like silence will reveal itself as a moment when heaven was arranging the exact timing that would bring you here. Stay near these words, my child, and return to them whenever your heart seeks reassurance, because the message does not end in this moment. The movement that has begun around your life will continue unfolding in ways that gradually become clearer. And when you begin to see the signs of that unfolding, you will understand why heaven spoke about you long before you realized the conversation had begun. My beloved, remain here a little longer, because the moment you are standing in is far more significant than it appears on the surface. When heaven speaks about timing, it is never rushed and it is never random. The angels who were speaking about you were observing something that has been quietly unfolding within your life for longer than you realize. They were watching the transformation that was happening within your body and within your spirit at the same time. Many people only notice change once it becomes visible, but heaven recognizes the earliest movements long before the world can see them. What you felt as confusion, what you sometimes felt as heaviness or unusual tiredness, was not meaningless. Those were the early waves of a transition that had already begun moving through your life. My child, the reason the angels were speaking about your body is because your body carries more than simple strength or weakness. It carries the evidence of what your spirit has been walking through. Every prayer you whispered in silence, every moment when you continued forward, even though the path felt uncertain, left an imprint. Heaven saw those moments even when no one else did. The angels recognized that the endurance you showed was not ordinary patience. It was the patience of someone who was unknowingly preparing for a shift that would eventually change the direction of their journey. My beloved, there were moments in the past when you wondered if something was wrong because your energy felt different. You questioned why some days seemed heavier than others, why certain plans slowed down unexpectedly, and why clarity seemed delayed when you were searching for answers. But the angels were not alarmed by those moments. Instead, they spoke about them with calm understanding, because they knew that those pauses were part of a realignment place beneath the surface. Sometimes the body becomes quiet, because heaven is working on something deeper than what the eyes can see. My child, this is why the message you are hearing now asks for only a small moment of your attention. Heaven does not require hours of explanation when the truth is already prepared. Sometimes a brief moment of awareness is enough to awaken a person to what has been happening around them all along. The angels understood that the timing of your awareness would arrive exactly when it needed to. That is why you found yourself here now, listening carefully, sensing that something about these words carries a meaning that goes beyond ordinary conversation. My beloved, while the angels spoke, they were also observing the moment that is approaching in your life. They were watching the horizon of your journey where a quiet restoration is beginning to form. This restoration is not loud, and it does not arrive with sudden noise. It moves gently at first, like a calm breeze before the dawn begins to brighten the sky. The changes within your body that once confused you will begin to settle into a new rhythm. Strength that seemed distant will begin to return, not suddenly, but steadily. And as that strength returns, your clarity will begin to return with it. My child, the world often misunderstands seasons like the one you walked through. When people see someone slowing down or stepping back, they sometimes assume something has gone wrong. But heaven does not see those moments as failure. Heaven sees them as preparation. The angels knew that your path required a period of quiet rebuilding before the next stage could begin. Just as a seed must remain hidden beneath the soil before it breaks through the ground, your own transformation required a time when it could grow unseen. My beloved, this is why the conversation about you in the spiritual realm was filled with anticipation. The angels were not discussing whether restoration would happen. They were speaking about when it would begin to reveal itself. Timing matters greatly in heaven's design. If restoration comes too early, the foundation beneath it may not yet be ready. But when restoration arrives at the exact moment it was intended, everything surrounding it begins to align naturally. My child, you may soon begin to notice subtle signs that the season around you is changing. Small moments will begin to appear that feel strangely precise. Opportunities that once seemed distant may move a little closer. Thoughts that once felt clouded will begin to settle into clearer understanding. These moments will not feel forced. Instead, they will feel as if something has quietly shifted in the atmosphere of your life. My beloved, do not ignore those moments when they arrive. They are gentle confirmations that the alignment the angels spoke about is beginning to unfold. The changes you are about to experience are not random improvements. They are the result of a preparation that has been taking place far beyond your awareness. Heaven has been attentive to every step you have taken, even when you believed you were walking alone. My child, there is something else the angels recognized while they were speaking about you. They saw that you have carried questions for a long time. You asked why certain paths closed unexpectedly, why some relationships shifted, and why certain plans never reached the destination you once imagined. At the time, those moments felt confusing and sometimes even discouraging. Yet the angels understood something you could not yet see. Those changes were clearing space for something that had not yet arrived. My beloved, the body you carry has been part of that preparation as well. When the body slows down, it sometimes creates the stillness necessary for deeper understanding to grow. During those quiet periods, your spirit was learning patience, resilience, and awareness. Those lessons were not wasted. They are part of the strength you will carry into the next stage of your life. My child, the message you are hearing is not meant to create fear or urgency in the way the world often does. Instead, it carries a calm certainty. Heaven is reminding you that the path ahead is not as uncertain as it once appeared. The preparation that took place during the quiet seasons has positioned you for a moment when clarity and strength will begin to rise together. My beloved, when the angels finished speaking, they did not express concern. They expressed confidence. They understood that the timing surrounding your life had finally reached a point where movement could begin again. The delays that once surrounded you were not permanent obstacles. They were temporary pauses that ensured everything would align correctly. My child, continue listening carefully, because the unfolding of your story is not finished yet. Even now, the atmosphere around your life is shifting in ways that you may only begin to recognize gradually. The strength returning to your body will influence more than your physical energy. It will renew your perspective, your focus, and your confidence in the path ahead. My beloved, you were never forgotten during the quiet seasons. Every moment of patience, every silent prayer, and every step you took while carrying uncertainty was seen and remembered. Heaven values perseverance more than the world often realizes. And because you continued moving forward, even when you did not fully understand the journey, the restoration approaching you carries a meaning that goes beyond simple relief. My child, remain attentive in the coming days. Not with worry, but with calm awareness. The changes that begin to appear around you will not need dramatic explanations. They will simply feel right, as though something that once out of place has finally settled into its proper position. And when that realization begins to grow within you, remember this moment and understand that the conversation the angels had about you was never about weakness. It was about the preparation for a new strength that was always meant to arrive.